scale, weight loss, and wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning.
Hello.
Oh, you sound like you're in a box this morning.
Why?
Or is it me that sounds like I'm in a box?
I went
Fix
closer to my mic. Did you even turn my volume down?
I did.
Okay.
I turned your volume down. Got all the switches. You're on 73. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Wonderful.
Well, hey.
Happy New Year.
Happy,
Is this our first show after the New Year?
No.
I think it is. I do
Is
believe it is ours because we did New Year's Eve.
We did.
Last time.
So it is a New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year 2025.
Wow. Do you know how old I feel thinking of 2025 when we were little and we were like thinking the world was going to end? And
I never thought that far.
Oh, my mother had us terrified that the world was going to end. And we still have rice from back in those days.
No, you don't.
Or we do.
Do you really?
I won't get it because if we need it.
Rice will never go bad.
No, I don't think so.
Or does it? It's kind of like dehydrated. It might, I don't know.
We'll never find out.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a big week. I got a lot of things on my plate. I am going to go and watch our new governor be sworn in.
Nice.
And we're going to the governor's ball this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go to Indianapolis to get my hairs did and got my dress back from the alteration shop. And so, yeah. And then my husband actually got a suit that fits him.
Wow.
Instead of wearing an old man suit, he's going to wear
a fitted one.
It's not quite the Micah Beckwith skinny jeans. Or the Lucas Miles. It's not quite that.
Yeah.
But he kind of looks like he's,
young?
Like he's young. Yeah.
What?
Because we are.
I can imagine like some of his suits are clearly not fitted for him, or it was either old Brian.
Well,
he
has body dysmorphia like his wife does.
Aww. That's real.
It's real. Guys, I hit the lowest that I have been on the scale this morning, and I feel the biggest that I've ever been. Isn't
that weird?
That's how it's just so wrong. Yeah. So wrong. And I hate that. But in a way, I'm like, well, at least our clients know that they're not abnormal, that it's completely normal. Whether it's normal or not, I don't know. But
it also means that you need to do a lot of work mentally up there, not just go on a diet. And
Miss person that fights me on counseling. Are you on my team now?
Haven't needed
counseling?
Yet. Not yet. No. It's not like I'm not doing the work. If I weren't.
Yeah. Me too.
But yeah. So
he has that disease, and so he's like 150 pounds and tries to get extra large. Now he'll fight me on the extra large part, and he'll tell, if he was joining us live, he would say he's in larges. The man is tiny.
He's tiny.
He's tiny.
Yeah.
So his suit fits him. He had a man help him fit him into a suit, and he didn't get the old man pants. You know, the old man pants that have the, what do you call those?
They'll go all the way up. And the pleats, pleated?
All the way to the crotches, like down to the knees, you know, like the old man.
He's wearing them in the wrong spot.
If you wear those. Oh,
he needs to wear up at his belly button. I learned that. That's why I learned, like, when boys go to, like, prom and stuff, and they are so used to wearing their pants down, and then the guy at the store is like, no, it needs to be up. Like,
Well, his was... There's just an old man style. There's an old man style. And I'm sorry, we may be 49 years old, but we're not there yet. You know, we've got some years.
Are we going to have a celebration for you guys this year? Because
Nobody throws us
They
any
do over the
celebrations.
hill parties. Do we need to throw
No,
you one?
no, my
Yay!
my husband doesn't do
Done.
that.
Done and
No,
done. Nope, done and
no,
done. Anyway,
no. I think that. Oh, it's also going to be our 30th wedding anniversary as well. So this is like a big year for us.
30, 50? Oh, no, you
30,
turn
30, 50. How did we
30,
do
50.
that? How did we do that?
Wow.
1995. We must have gotten some
95, 30, 50.
old
What did numbers mean?
outside. Now, if I disappear from my desk, the outside my office chaos is unfolding. Hey! Oh,
Oh,
sorry. Hold on.
I did that one time when we were on one of our very first carnivore groups, and I was I was needing to be at a ball game, and they were so like he
Oh
oh,
my.
and I went, yeah, and it was really loud. Oh no, Winston! Oh,
Oh, I
goodness.
saved him from the mouth. I saved him from this
Oh
guy.
my
Oh, it was
goodness.
bad. Holy cow. Sorry I screamed in your ear.
Hey, listen, I was telling them the story of the one time we had our very first carnivore group, and Colin hit the ball at the ball field. And
Oh,
I
that's
yelled
right.
in
I remember
everybody's
that.
ear. I'm like,
I
"Oh, I'm
remember
so
that.
sorry."
Oh, this is
But
live, y'all. Sorry,
speaking of
Sancy. I
our
didn't mean to hurt your ears, but Winston about lost his life.
oh my goodness.
It was like he was surrounded by the cat, the Great Dane, and there was something that was moving beyond that. I don't know. It could be somebody who walked in our house. I don't know. It was chaos. And then I saw Remy's mouth go like this. And
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Well, it was worth not having
Now I'm
ears
hot.
anymore.
Have a hot
But
flash.
don't mind me if I talk louder.
What were we talking? We were talking about Brian's baggy pants.
Yes, but now we're going to talk about our carnivore group because it
Mhm.
is 11:07 and we're just
Tonight
bantering.
we have our first meeting.
Yes.
Tonight, first
Yeah.
live meeting with our carnivore group. They're doing amazing.
Yeah.
They are.
We're on it.
I just was scrolling through and somebody posted just lost 6 pounds.
Already? Look at that.
I just was scrolling, so I don't know who it was, but
That's
they're doing
exciting.
amazing. Yeah.
It's always great to
not.
see. Well,
I'm not.
you're bitter Betty.
I
Sorry,
did
Betty's
label
out
myself.
there. You're not bitter, but Monica's being bitter.
I am a grouchy carnivore. For the first week, I'm better today.
It's been almost 2 weeks.
It's only been 7 days.
Oh wait, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I'm feeling a little bit better today. I did bring in some egg wraps and some
Those
taco
are
meat
game changers.
and cheese. I put some cheese. Sorry, I put cheese on it. So I feel a little bit better today. I feel a little bit better, but I am a grouchy carnivore.
For all you carnivores out there and the ones that are not doing like the egg wraps are a game changer.
Oh my!
Like though you can utilize those for so many things. And
Yes.
did you know that same brand? No wait, no they don't. Miracle Noodles has created a brand of egg white noodles.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
And I love them in my chicken.
Where do you find them?
I get them off of Thrive Market.
Okay.
I'm sure you can order them off of Miracle Noodles' website. I'm sure that it's at other places, but I don't know.
Okay.
I have been able to utilize those when I want like chicken noodle soup, and I love it because it's got I don't know if it's just triggers of what canned chicken noodle soup, like the Campbell's back in the day, like that texture.
Yeah.
It kind of tastes like
That's
that
cool.
texture.
I'll have to try that. You got it
yeah.
on Thrive.
I did
I'll have
Thrive
to
Market.
See if I can find.
But yeah, just Google it. You might see if your local store has it. But they have like the ramen noodle texture kind of ones, and then they have the spaghetti noodles. So I utilize that.
Yeah.
And I know Thrive Market has them on sale right now.
And really, truly, it is about shaking it up, And I remember going through this last time we did this. I remember going through the just grouchies and you telling us, hey, put some shrimp in with your, mix up your meats a little bit.
It's only been week 1.
And it's the same time frame as last time. I remember this.
Yeah.
And I remember telling Brian, we've run so many of these. We know what we're doing. We really don't have to finish. You don't have to finish. And letting ourselves get off the hook and not. I mean, that's just what's coming out of our mouth. But yeah, they're doing amazing. And I don't hear or see any grouchies in our group.
Not yet.
Not like me.
We'll find out tonight.
Yes. Yes. So we've got, we did a little bit different this time. We did a workshop, not a live workshop, but we did a workshop for day one so that everybody kind of knew what was going on. And then we waited a few days for our first live session. So
yeah,
we're going to do that tonight at 7 p.m. And yeah.
I'm excited.
Any other updates you got from Carnivore? Such a great starter. It's just a great starter package for your health journey.
I was telling you last night, like during our call, I had taken my my sweatshirt off for the first time because I'm bundled up.
Yeah.
And I just had a t-shirt on and I was feeling my arms. I'm like, what's wrong with my arms? Because I have keratosis. Like if I eat crappy, if I eat more carbs, I'll get keratosis. Bumps on, like they're called chicken skin, bumps on my arms. I've just been blessed with that. But since going low carb, Carnivore for sure has cleared all of my bumps up, even on my elbows. But I was like, something's wrong. I had bumps all around me, like up here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not right. And my shoulder, my old injury is kind of hurting.
Oh,
and I'm
man.
like, this is an oxalate dump, y'all. It's not. And then usually this is the time when people panic. Oh, this is not for me. I'm breaking. But I did not panic. I looked up symptoms of oxalate dumping. And lo and behold, y'all, it's a rash. There you've got what? Some people get nauseous. Some people get, what are some other symptoms of oxalate dumping? And what oxalate dumping is basically all of those toxins in your vegetables that you consume.
Yeah.
That's all those toxins leaving your body.
Wow.
So
it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
Some of the other side effects, can be combined with the keto flu as well. So you are already keto and you're already kind of experiencing that oxalate dump. And there's some that are coming straight from the sad American diet and they've got to deal with the keto flu. Only thing you do with that is just get your electrolytes, making sure that you get your pink salt in every day, twice a day.
Yeah.
And that will go and that will pass. And
now
so
I'm just to continue, like I was kind of thrown off because I've done carnivore now for a while. I've been like, I think a week or two. Well, for Christmas, I added some celery and some other odds and ends that are still keto. And so it wasn't like going off carnivore because I was majority carnivore, but I was surprised. Like, this is a new symptom I've never had. Like every time, like I am like, okay, now we go strict carnivore, eggs and my meat, and that's it. Because I don't do dairy. I'm like 136 days of dairy free. And so it was amazing how every single time, every single round has been different.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. How did you adjust? Like, I was just thinking about you this morning when I was eating my breakfast. I need you to lay down. Oh my, the contractor's not here today. He's very upset. Lay down right now. You're the one that took your blanket out of here. So you don't have a bed now. How do you do the no dairy thing? Like what did you do? Because that is a lot. And there's some of our guys who are doing the Lion. Like what are your tips if somebody wanted to do the Lion? What are the tips?
Well, I've not done the Lion. Like I've had coffee. Like coffee's in my diet, and that's probably something that I'm begrudgingly have to decrease.
The coffee?
The coffee.
Okay.
I don't want to. I didn't want to do dairy either, but dairy for me was, so the first round flared up my psoriasis on my scalp. And I was very itchy all over, which the vitamin B, I was deficient in that. The vitamin B complex helped me with the itchiness, the crawliness all over. But my psoriasis flared up because I was only doing meat and dairy. And this is why it's great if things like this start to come about and you're like, oh, this is a terrible diet because this and this and this started happening. Well,
Mhm.
that's because it's an elimination diet.
Mhm.
This is the hardcore. Like, this
Right.
is what helps you figure out what you're sensitive to and what you're not sensitive to. And
Mhm.
apparently I have always been sensitive to dairy, but it was one of those things where I cleared everything out, and that was like the highlighter. Like,
Mhm.
oh, your body doesn't like this, and
Yeah.
here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So psoriasis started to flare up. Then I took it out. Then it cleared up. Like,
Yeah.
I've got
So
one tiny
maybe it
little
was an
patch,
equal
but
trade, an equal trade for you. Like, okay,
yeah,
yeah, I gave up the cheese, I gave up
that's
that, but I really
I
feel good.
have. I
Yeah.
rather feel better. I
Yeah.
rather feel not embarrassed. I rather be able
Mhm.
to wear my black clothes,
Yeah. Yeah.
wear my hair up,
Mhm.
and not feel embarrassment and not feel like everybody's looking at my scalp that
Yeah.
looks like
The
they weren't.
trade-off
I
is
know it
there.
wasn't,
Right.
but yeah,
And
it
I
was
always when I get to the second week of carnivore, I always feel the same about my mental health.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to do this at all. I don't want to, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Whoever designed this is stupid. And then I get to the second week and I'm like, but I feel so good.
When I ate celery, Mark was like, are you going to be able to handle that?"
Uh-huh.
I'm like, "It's fine. It's
It's
celery."
fine.
But no, the next day I was miserable. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like so bloated.
Mm-hmm.
My face, I looked in the mirror and I could see like my legs and my face felt
Yeah.
swollen
Yeah.
from that.
It's
And
real.
it comes down to it was an easy exchange, like you said,
Yeah.
because I felt better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what happens when, if you really want it, if you really want to change, if you have
Mm-hmm.
like the diabetes and you don't want medication anymore, like, and you truly
Mm-hmm.
are 100%, like, then yeah, there's
Yeah.
no trade in. Like,
No.
I'm happy.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I feel the same way. I don't know, I don't know what my long-term carnivore looks like, but I do know how I feel and it
yeah.
can't be denied. Speaking of which, this has zero to do with this, but I just heard over the Twitter, I still call it Twitter. It will
Twitter
always be the
X.
Sears Tower and it will always be Twitter to me.
Yes.
So there. But I just saw that RFK has enough votes to pass. So can you imagine what is just about to happen in
I
just 7, 8 days from
listen. That
now?
I am ecstatic.
I don't even know what to think. Our kids are gonna have help, that have
Yeah.
been vaccine injured. Our food system. I mean,
Our
just
school lunches might
I
look a
can't
little
even.
different.
I can't even.
You might
It's
want to
so.
have school lunch instead of home lunch every day.
Mhm. Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
excited. That was great news that
I
came across
am
my wire.
like I feel like for me, the idea of what does this even look like for
Right.
America? Like, we've
Right.
never seen that in our generations.
No.
We have
No.
never seen what it looks like to have a better health
No.
system, food system.
No. And go
Um,
Canada. My
right?
gosh. Freedom is like I just get chills thinking about it. I didn't understand. I'm like I told my Facebook uh folks, I'm like, treat me like I'm in fifth grade. I can't even keep track of America's politics, let alone Canadian. But what in the world's going on over there? Same thing is happening over there that happened here, and it is party lines. I talked to one of my doctor friends over there yesterday. I'm like, who lives over there,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, it is left and it's not left and right. It is Democrats, Republicans like linking arms with each other under the banner of freedom. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I got to tell you what I did. So I'm like, you know what? All they're going to do is tell me no. So I'm in this carnivore group, 75,000 people in this carnivore group. And I'm like, I know all of the posts are moderated, and I know that they only post because I've had posts that have been declined before because I'm too close to a coach,
Oh,
and so you can't sell something in there. So I
right.
know
Makes
that they're
sense.
moderated.
Yes.
So I wrote this post, and I'm like, I'm looking because people will put pictures of their eggs and bacon
Mhm.
next to their pew pew, right? Or and I'm like, something in this group, and it's not just a couple people. Like this is like we're talking 75,000 carnivores in here. I'm like, there is a weight in this group. And I want to do a little bit of a fun. And I said, this post is for funsies because you mentioned politics to some people and you
Right.
you can't have a conversation.
Yeah.
It can't be a fun conversation. It's like, it's got to be, bringing the weapons out. You just
Right.
can't do it.
Samurai swords.
I like to have discussions because I actually learn from people who may not be on my side of the aisle. I learn from people. I like
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
So I posted, I said, this post is simply fun. But do you notice any political differences between carnivores, health conscious people, and standard American diet folks? And oh my gosh, if you're in that group, you got to go find it because the responses in there were hilarious. There were two butthurt people. And they're, they were mad.
You're always going to have those.
Oh, they were the liberals, and we should never talk politics. I come here for the recipes, not politics. Two of them out of probably 200 and some comments.
Right.
And at the end of my post, I said, I'm just wondering, I've just noticed that, here's mine. I'm going to the inauguration next week. And so that was like, I gave away what side I was on. And oh my gosh, it is true. But here is the thing I'm finding is a lot of people are coming from another party. Mm-hmm. So the change is so in your face of people who just want to be left alone and who just want freedom. You got the left coming over to the right, not necessarily the left. I think those are the wacky, crazy liberals, and then you got the far right who are the same way.
The old school.
Yeah. The old school hard, working class Democrats come into the middle. You got the right wing people who maybe used to fight for marriage or things saying, hey, wait a minute. You're my brother. You're my sister. Let's go link arms under freedom.
Yeah.
It was the most beautiful post that I've ever seen. And there was a couple of people saying, oh, there's never any connection between carnivore and politics. You need to keep them separate. I'm like, how do you keep them separate when they're poisoning us?
That is anyway.
Yeah. It was really, so food
is politics.
Exactly. Yeah. And the answers of that post, if you're in that group, go over there, watch it because it was so. There's a movement.
Vegans to carnivores, that's not politics.
Exactly.
Political. Yeah. Okay. Let's.
Yeah. So you got the freedom group, and you got the people who want to be told what to do.
Right. Well, the fact of the matter is that we are working on our health system so that we're not just, giving our monies away to these doctors that are and pharmacists and insurance companies that are just pro Medicaid, pro Band-Aid Medicaid.
Exactly.
That is my excitement. That empowerment to own
empowerment.
That is and
it's happening across the world. What's happening in Canada is mimicking what is happening here. I mean, it is so much fun to watch people reclaiming their God-given rights of, wait a minute, we have given the government way too much power and now we're taking it back.
It's the common sense of it all.
Yeah.
We're being given the common sense, the ability to actually, as scientists, you test the theory, you collect the data, all those things, and we were not allowed to do that for ourselves. And if we did, we were told no. What?
Speaking of which, another thing that went across my Facebook post this morning, and if it's on Facebook, it must be true. No, it was on TikTok actually.
Oh, so it's even truer.
Yes, exactly. Actually, it is because that's where I got all my election news, and it all happened. It all came true. I knew we were going to win before we did.
Yeah.
No, actually, in all seriousness, I did. It was on the Real News today. Whatever that is.
No.
That the Meta is going to the Twitter version instead of bringing in their left-wing crazies to tell you your post hurt their feelings or yours fact check. They're getting rid of them. And they're going to the X standard of community input, which is amazing for free speech because every other post I'm banned because some left wing doesn't like what I say about freedom.
Well,
and
or
that's
food.
Great news for Facebook.
Yeah.
If that is true to Mark Zuckerberg, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Makes
So
me wonder how much
one of the things you had said something I wanted to bring in. We have AAOA support group every Monday night for our addictions folks, and you had talked about disease. You had talked about balancing the benefit of how you feel versus giving up some dairy. And what you said brought to mind, actually, we were going to talk about this anyway,
We
but
were.
your smooth entrance to that really brought to mind one of the things that we talked about last night. We started with the first step. By the way, if you want to be involved in the 12-step program, just give us a message and we'll give you some information on how to do that. But we talked about in last night for step one, let me read it to you. It says, we've admitted we're powerless over food and that our lives had become unmanageable. You cannot do anything. You cannot do anything until you've hit step one. You have to be abstinent, number one, but you cannot do anything until you admit you're powerless over food and that your life has become unmanageable. One of the examples they gave in here, I told them in group lesson, I said, I'm a really black or white girl. I don't like to use my emotions first, because if I use my emotions first, because a lot of this is emotion, I would melt down and it would just be a puddle of a mess. And so I like to use my brain first and really process, what does that mean? Because I can say I've admitted I'm a powerless over food. And something that they read last night, and I'm going to read it here, it just turned the light on for me, because it was the black or white thing that I needed to say, okay, this is what giving up control looks like. All right. So it said, for the first time in our lives, we recognized, acknowledged, and accepted the truth about ourselves. We are compulsive eaters. We do have an incurable disease. And this is what got me. Diabetics who need to be on insulin risk blindness and possible death unless they recognize the truth of their diabetic condition, accept it, and take the prescribed medication. So it is with compulsive overeaters. As long as we refuse to recognize that we have this debilitating, progressive, and ultimately fatal disease, we are not motivated to get daily treatment that brings about our recovery. Denial of the truth leads to destruction. Only honest admission to ourselves of the reality of our condition can save us from our destructive eating. And I just thought, there it is. That is what it means to give up control, to understand that we are powerless over food. It's just like a diabetic who realizes the only way that they can stay alive is if they have insulin. I'm talking type 1, because you can reverse type 2, by the way.
Yeah.
And you were talking about kind of a similar thing with you giving up your dairy, as far as you have to, as long as we refuse to recognize that we have this debilitating, progressive, and ultimately fatal disease. And in your case, you had a disease of the head, a disease of the scalp, right? Until you realized that and got desperate enough, there is nothing that could have made you change.
Right. That desperation speaks, but it's sad that we have to get there.
I know. Yeah.
After years of my skin not clearing up like a lot of these other ketoers have done, I'm thinking, okay, there's something else going on.
Yeah.
And it took me a really long time after Dr. Berry said, go carnivore.
It's like your mom saying to do something.
Yeah.
Dr. Berry said.
You kind of get hooked on it. That's why he said go 90 days and you kind of get hooked on the way you feel.
Yeah.
But then other things start to, like, we have allowed ourselves to become numb or just not be able to focus, or I don't know what the word, what am I looking for? We've been able to just deal with the pain and act as if it's normal. And then when you start to feel better, your body's like, no, listen, you need to figure this out, because this is actually the deeper root problem that isn't cleared up yet. And you can eat as healthy as you want. Yeah. You can eat as healthy as you want for as long as you want. But if you're not willing to take out or figure out what the root problem for your own self, because we're not all the same. You don't have a disorder like I have a disorder. I don't have your disorder. I don't know if you have a disorder. You might have a disorder, but I don't have it.
I think a lot of people spend time poo-pooing that away.
Yeah.
Because I read, oh my gosh. I'm just going through my Facebook feed this week. and I read something that said old people have Ozempic, young people have body positivity. And that is so true.
Yeah.
We don't want to deal with the root of the issue, which is food, sugar, carb addiction. We don't want to
Right.
deal with that. And so we're going to, if we're in the younger generation, in the cool generation, we're going to say, well, body positivity.
Yes.
You're okay in any size. Don't let the media tell
Accept
you.
yourself for who
Accept
you are.
yourself. And then the old people are like, heck with that. Give me the drugs.
Yeah.
And they also then deny the fact that they struggle with a food eating disorder.
Yeah.
And so it comes full circle. So when you put the eating addiction, the carbohydrate addiction, the ultra processed food addiction, when you marry that with Darcy over here on the health side of things, you have this recipe for freedom that,
Mhm.
when you're willing to say, you know what, society has shoved this drug addiction, this overeating addiction, they have shoved it on us with the processed foods. They have shoved it on us with the body positivity movement, with the masking it of the Ozempic, those kinds of things. Maybe it's time we get to the root. Maybe it's what time we start to look and say, why is it that I am more addicted to sugar than I could be alcohol or cocaine or these big, massive drugs?
Mhm.
Is there a connection? Could there be a chemical addiction? Could my brain be broken? Right?
Yeah.
Your willpower is not broken when you're a food addict. Your brain is broken. And
Yeah.
so you've got to treat it differently. So, you guys, the power and the community that is being built in our food addiction group is just overwhelming. I got
Mhm.
teared up last night after the meeting because those people are close. Those people are serious about healing. And we are so thankful for our Gary who's leading that.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for him.
Yeah.
It's giving me a chance to go through it,
Yeah.
and feel it and do my homework. I sat down last night after the meeting and I did my homework. It's really, really great stuff. It's
It's
really
kind of
great
like
stuff.
your journaling.
Kind of like that, but I don't like to call it that because then I'd have
Uh-huh.
to say my sister's right, and I'm not ready to do that
There's
yet.
people out in the
What
world
is
that
that step
have already.
4?
That's
So step
that should be
5.
a part of step 1.
Step 5, I
I
may have to come to you and
I just
repent.
I want to say though, like, well, I have a comparison, but we're not going to talk about that one today. But I think it's great because I feel like I'm at a different level of a different type of an addiction. Like I'm able to release my addiction. I feel like a little bit easier. So I feel like it's maybe a different level. So there's just the different levels of, the addiction, and what we have to do is,
Well, what you're going to find, let me just prophesy over
yes.
you. What you're going to find is you're going to get to like you're going through this all nice and beautiful and smooth. Then you'll hit step 4, you'll hit step 5, be like, oh crap, I forgot about that. And you get sent to the back of the class and you got to deal with it.
But listen, like I'm thinking to myself, you have gotten rid of everything that you could possibly be addicted to food wise. And I'm like, what more is there? And then there's the coffee. Somebody mentioned coffee in our comments.
I think you should rethink that. I'm not feeling Jesus on that one.
Like I'm not saying like because I there's other things have an addiction to. Like there's like shopping. Like I have an addiction to finding deals. It's not just shopping because I will not go out and find a really expensive dress and like have an addiction to shopping there. And maybe that's where I need to spend more money on something so I don't spend any more on. That's a terrible idea.
Well, that's terrible.
That was just me thinking out loud. As I was saying, it was like not great. But there's things that, yes, I will always need to be on guard about. I will always need to fix. I will always need to grow.
We're a work in progress.
But for me, I'm thinking when I was doing step 1, I'm like, what is there that I could possibly feel like I'm missing out on?
I don't think it stings. I don't think it stings. I think you have more of an emotional journey ahead of you than food.
I have a lot of emotions. Yeah. I know that.
I heard about it this way. I heard if you picture an escalator, when you are healing from food addiction, if you are standing still Like if you're walking up an escalator it's going downhill. So
Yes.
you're going to walk up going down. If you stand still, what's going to happen to your journey? When
Mhm.
you're on the wrong way going,
Right.
you're going to go down. If you are not growing in this thing, if you're not growing in your health journey, no matter where you are, even if you don't struggle with food addiction, if you're just on a weight loss journey, if you are not growing, you're losing, you're
Right.
falling back.
That's where that's where when we went through step 1, there was no spot about, like,
Hmm.
other things other than food, because mine was, what did I mention? Like, the, obsession with body
Hmm.
image.
Actually, there was. It was when you zoned out.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there was. It was about controlling. It was about control, and it was
Controlling
about
what?
yeah. Well, you told me before that you had a zoning, and you had a
No, it was
child
during the
issue. You had a
no, it was
child issue last night too.
I did, but it was the diabetics one that you just read. That's where I zoned out on.
Yeah. Well, you
That was
must
the
have
part.
zoned again because it's not about just food. It's about
No, it was about
controlling,
yeah.
about being selfish, about the selfishness of what brought us to our addiction.
Yeah.
And that really ruffled some feathers. And I don't talk about what happens in group. I'll just talk about my feathers. Um, I'm like, I'm a really good person. I'm a really nice person. I'm not a selfish person.
I'm
And when we
selfish.
broke that down last night, my selfishness came from my laziness.
Mm.
Because I told the group last night, I was lazy. I didn't want to cook dinner. I didn't want to cook dinner from scratch. So we had pizza out 3 nights a week. We went out most meals because I was lazy. That was selfishness to my kids that I did not cook and that I just did not, I blamed it on being tired. No, the fact of the matter was I was selfish. And
Mhm.
so selfishness stems from a lot of things. And the other thing that you can think about when you think, well, I've given up all the food, is the connection from the things in your life to food. There's a connection there, but it doesn't
Mhm.
have to be about the food.
Right.
And
Mine was
I wanted to ask Gary this last night. I wanted to ask him, what do you think our healing journey looks like after, because we're abstinent, right? Everyone in that group is abstinent. What does our life look like compared to someone but to our old life of being an addict?
mhm.
How would we have processed it then when we were doing the drug? And I think the answer is you can't do the 12-step program.
No, you
And
can't
they
do
say
the
that
drug.
you can't do it without abstinence.
Uh-uh.
And that's why if you relapse, you got to go back to step 1. You got
Yeah.
to go way back because you can't do this thing with under the influence of the
Right.
drug.
Right. I think mine is I'm okay with letting the food addiction part go, because I know that I have that addiction. But I think it also comes down to past things that I let control my brain.
Mhm.
And
It's
because I
going to
was
give you a picture as to why
yeah.
you became an addict,
But
why you
I don't understand, like, why did it derive from when I was in kindergarten? Like, what made me think as a kindergartner,
Yeah. I wanted to ask
why
that last night too. And
why did
if Bitten was there, I would have asked her.
right, like, why is it like I was it in a moment where I, um, kept hearing that in my life where, they were so focused on our family is so focused on exercise and health, and
I think
then
it's the
between
food.
that and then my grandma pat me on my tush and
Yeah.
basically making
Those
a
are big
note
ones.
that like, "Oh, you have a voluptuous booty compared to
Yeah.
my cousins." Like, I'm like,
Those are big ones. And I think that's your answer right there. But
"I
I think
know."
the other potential of maybe somebody who didn't have that, because to me, that's your answer.
Mhm.
But what about those people who maybe didn't have that? Can it potentially just be the food that has the addictive properties?
Right.
That we start feeding the babies corn syrup with their baby formula, when
Right.
they're 2 weeks old. Could we create the food addiction right then? And then the symptoms start coming out later. And then
Right.
hard knock life hits you like it did you,
Mhm.
and it just exacerbates that,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I
I
think the food chemicals is the number one thing.
It could be for sure. But we're talking the 80s when,
Mhm. Well,
It's
there's
not as
still the
bad as where
sugar
it is.
dopamine hit, though.
Yeah, I used to do cornflakes.
Yeah.
We learned about cornflakes.
Oh, yeah, there's that dopamine hit, and our brains get used to that, when I have the
Yeah,
sugar, the dopamine kicks off. When you take that away, the dopamine doesn't kick anymore.
yeah.
And so it's more of a feeling. I think was it Dr. Barry? Somebody mentioned it in our weight loss group here this week. Um, I'm addicted to the impact of the feeling of the food.
Mm,
I think everybody's different. And some in group last night, were kind of saying, "Oh, I'm not good at this because I didn't go through this particular thing." And I think it's three-dimensional. I don't think it's two-dimensional. Um I think you can be chemically addicted to food with no, outer stimuli. I think you can be chemically addicted to food and to the dopamine hits without having any abuse in your past. But then
right,
you bring in the abuse or you bring in those things, and then that just kind of
right.
like multiplies it.
Because I don't think I was not abused.
Hmm.
I was the youngest. I never got spanked, apparently,
Hmm.
according to
Well,
my
and
older siblings,
no,
and
she didn't. Don't let her tell you she did.
I got I got told on all the time.
No, she
But
didn't get
anyway.
disciplined. She's just like my daughter who's never been spanked in her life. Yeah.
Anyway, but I can say that with my Christian faith too. Like,
Mhm.
I've always known Jesus since I was 7,
Mhm.
and we were raised in the Christian
Right.
home. But that doesn't mean that my Christian faith is thriving,
Right.
because of
Right.
laziness.
Or it means we put so much work on that Christian faith that it became a religion and not even, even
Yeah,
anything close to relationships.
yeah,
There's so many comparisons. You cannot separate the 12 steps of food addiction from spirituality.
right.
You cannot separate them.
Nope.
And that's the really cool thing about AA is you can't separate that either. And all of those people in AA who don't have a faith, who come to know a faith because of that. It's
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. If you are stuck with food addiction and you're struggling, stop struggling alone. Get healing, find healing. Stop being gripped and harassed by the food system. You don't have to stay there.
Right.
Um, and be willing to do the hard things. One of the things that I love about our group, we have two different kinds of groups. We have the weight loss group, and that's a pretty big group. They're awesome. They support each other. And then there's the OA group and the overeaters group. Those people they signed up to do hard things. It
Yeah.
is not easy to open this book. It is not easy to do this. They're doing grit. And I had a client last night message me. She was discouraged. I'm like, you're doing hard things. You are choosing to take the grit
Mhm.
and not to do the shortcuts. And so your healing is going to look much different from somebody on a weight loss
Right.
journey.
It's like a longer lasting empowerment that you
Yeah.
know that, yes, when you do this hard work, that hard work will pay off
Yeah.
because you're not gonna be where you possibly could have been
Right. Right.
if you didn't change.
Yeah.
And that's where I like to, help my clients focus is like,
Hmm.
I mean, yes, I don't like you to look at the future, but let's look at what your goals are for when
Right.
you are, potentially in the future. If you wouldn't change, you might be in a
Hmm.
nursing home having to be
Right.
taken care of. Or if you take hold of your life now,
Hmm.
what is
Look at
that
your
going to
long
look like?
term
Yeah.
benefits. What is that cost benefit analysis for the accountants? Like you got to weigh the cost.
Yeah.
Um, and so I would rather heal now. And there's sometimes where I'll tell my clients, hey, we're going too fast here. We need to back up. We need
Hmm.
to back up the road a little bit and we need to go back and deal with this thing because we didn't deal with it before. And so the weight loss pauses for a little bit and that's okay.
Yeah.
Those people are the ones that keep it off because they heal wholeheartedly, body, mind, and spirit. Um, and it is exhaustingly beautiful to do the food addiction journey. I don't know. I always am like, I should just be a weight loss coach because we could run them in, run them out.
I was like,
They could lose the weight.
that's what we started as.
I know, and I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not willing to
No.
give that up. In
I
fact,
don't see how people that are weight loss coaches can not see that portion.
I don't know if it's about money, if it's about running the numbers. Um, if it's a, it would be great for me to run clients in and out of our 8-week program, because 8-week to, even the 30-day program,
Yeah.
it would be really fun. In fact, that's the most, my bookkeeper just sent me my, what is it, P&L statement. And she's like, just so you know, your most cost, what is that word?
Effective.
The cost effective, the thing that benefits your company the most are your 30-day programs. Do you know why I hate the 30-day programs?
Because we see them
Because
back in the next 30 days.
we'll see them back because they'll quit.
Yeah.
Those are our people who it's great to get them kicked off. And then there's some who really do take it to the finish line, but
Right.
most of them don't. And
We
so,
like having friends.
oh yeah.
We
Yeah.
like to have our friends back,
Yeah, they come back over and over because
you
they go
know,
off, because they're not learning the hard knock life stuff about how to run a lifestyle in the middle of a crisis.
yeah.
And so financially, that's why the weight loss groups right now are so popular,
Mhm.
because they're a lot of money for coaches.
Yeah.
Because you run them in, you run them out. What we do with our people, and it's exhausting. What we do with our people is we bring them in for a year. We bring them into the addiction treatment center, and we go to the root, and
Mhm.
we work hard. And that is not cost effective. That is not even energy effective, because we're in the pit with them, right?
Yes.
And maybe someday we'll change. But I was going to do a conference at some point, and one of the things, we had to cut some of the things out, and I was going to link with another uh, coach. And in order to do that, I'd have to cut some of my really good genuine beliefs out. And I'm like, no, my message is it works. I'm not cheapening my message. I'm talking about what works. I'm talking about what heals women, body, mind, and spirit, and what sets men free,
Mhm.
And I'm not willing to cut my message at all. So, Sancy, you're going to come coach for us. That's what you're going to do. Oh, did you show your mother-in-law my slipper picture?
Yeah, I did. I
Did
sent it
you?
to her. Yeah.
She asked if my tootsies were warm
Yeah.
today. I love
Actually,
it.
my booties,
Did you get some too?
I did.
Oh,
I did
love
get
them.
some.
How long do you put them in the microwave for?
I haven't you have I haven't done it yet, but I have a heating pad on my tush.
Oh,
So,
nice. Well, you put these things, you put these slippers in the microwave and they have
yes.
rice in them,
Probably
but
like a minute.
there's no instruction on how long. So
Oh, I think
it's,
I think about a minute. I have like one of those rice
yeah,
bags and I put it in there for like a little
yeah.
over a minute. But
Missy, black coffee is okay on carnivore. You want to be careful with
and
the cream.
it's better if it's organic and freshly ground
That's right.
and filtered. I
Better.
learned today that if it's not filtered, coffee carries a certain chemical, two chemicals in there that lower your HDL.
Oh,
You
really?
know that? Huh.
Which
I don't
chemicals
know
are
the
those?
words.
Because we don't want to lower the HDL.
Nope.
Can we talk about pet peeves of these people getting their labs and these doctors putting on statins? I don't even think we should open that up, but it really
No,
is starting to tick me off.
I
These drug pushers are getting out of control.
I'm annoyed because they put a panic on people, and
They're scaring our clients away. And it's like
yes,
they're
like
lying to
you're
them.
metabolically, your numbers are perfect, and you
Yes.
are gonna go get a CAT scan
Oh my gosh.
because your doctor said that they're concerned about your number here. That makes sense. And then they're telling you to eat more carbs.
It's really
Like that's your
sad.
fix.
It's really
Eat
sad.
more carbs.
Yeah.
They must not know much about the liver.
And I truly wonder, is it something that they truly do not understand, or are they
Ugh.
drug pushers?
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
Well, I've heard it from a couple of clients this week about doctors freaking them out. I'm like,
They freaked me
I
out.
sent them to the book, Stay Off My Operating Table, and their numbers were even better than what is normal on on Dr. Ovadia's book.
Yes.
Don't listen. Go to Dr. Ovadia's if you're in that land of getting labs and doctor freaking you out and statins. Go
There's
get the book, Stay
Dr.
Off My Operating Table.
Lustig as well as a great
Metabolical.
one.
Yeah.
Metabolical is
Get
that
the real
that's
numbers.
yes.
Yeah.
Even good was it Good Energy has a lot of information on like the standards of your and what it means. Like, what do these numbers mean? And it could be even just as simple as something like the reason why one of my doctor made a stink about one of my numbers was because I hadn't been like I had inflammation in my shoulder. I was sick, and with it was my pinched nerve in my back, and I was taking Advil. And I don't like to take medications like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned that medications can be so terrible for your liver, so terrible for the other parts of your body, and that will affect your numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, this is why I don't take that crap. Because it's messing with my numbers, making the doctor be like, oh, I need to put you on statins, or this number is high and I'm worried about your kidneys.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, so that's when I did my own research.
Yeah. Pull out of the mainstream medical and do your own research and empower yourself. And I think things are going to change once the election happens. I think that the doctors who are holistic and who know the truth, I think they're going to be allowed to speak. Right now, they're not allowed to speak. They'll lose their medical license if they tell you the truth. I honestly think there's a cure for cancer out there. That's a tinfoil hat I'm wearing. It's a pretty one.
There's another country that says they do. You have a pink one?
A tinfoil hat? Yes.
Oh.
I got one in every color. I'm going to wear my red one on Saturday because we're going to the governor's ball.
Oh, okay.
My dress is red.
Matches your dress.
Yes.
Yes.
So, guys, we just kind of shot the breeze today.
Yeah, we did.
If you're struggling, don't struggle alone. Get help. Don't go through the diet cycle. Yeah. Jump off of the diet cycle and just decide that you're going to change your life for good.
Ask yourself, where do you want to see yourself this time next year?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you see yourself in the same position, then you'll be in the same position.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
right. But if you're struggling, you need help, join our group. Yeah. The group we have the coaching is, I think, phenomenal. But the group is just absolutely, that's what sets the group. I mean, both groups we ran this week, and I would like to run just groups because we get so much out of it. But both groups we ran, we run an overeaters group and we run an addiction group, and then we want to run a weight loss group. I was near tears with our weight loss group, with both of them. I'm like, you guys, do you realize how you're healing? And the people that don't go to our group and they pay for it, I'm like, I don't even understand you. I don't get it. I do not get it. So if you need help, please reach out to us. Our first podcast of the year dropped this morning.
Did it?
It did. We went back to the basics. How to do keto.
I was going to say, did it sound okay? Because of my internet connection. I prayed over my internet connection today, and look at it.
Good. Could you also pray over the inauguration? Because I'm going, and I'm going to have some very special people with me. And I don't want to die.
Special people?
Very special people. Yes, they're coming with me, and so I just need everybody to be safe. And I need this thing to go off, and I don't want to be afraid. Even if nothing, I don't want to be afraid. I want to go and enjoy this country and just participate. So pray for everybody.
Yes. I was going to say prayer works.
Yes, please do.
It does. I mean, obviously, because God even cares about this simple prayer for a good internet.
He connection. Does. He did.
And it's snowing out. And maybe it's because my children are not home using up all the internet. I don't know. Mark's not here. I'm telling everybody I'm alone. I'm not alone. I've got Clark. And you got Winston.
Yep. Winston is very thankful to be alive today.
Yes.
He's very thankful. He doesn't.
We've missed Winston, but he hasn't been chirping, which is nice. What?
Yeah,
he's content. He's like, thank you, Mother. Don't put me back there.
You should have seen it. It's still in my head. The picture of Remy's head. Right about here.
I could only he was doing that with Trixie. They were down there wrestling.
Yes. And I don't think he would have bit down. But I screamed to stop it. And I hurt all of our listeners' ears. So apologize for that.
Okay. It's like a ball game.
All right, guys, we are here every Tuesday morning. Go find our podcast, Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness.
It was a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah. How to start keto.
I feel like I remember it being good.
Yeah. Go download that. And next week, the next 2 weeks are going to be kind of crazy. So Darcy may be here one of the Mondays by herself. But yeah, every Tuesday morning at 11, we're here. Let
Yeah.
us know if you have any questions or if we can help you. kmhealthcoaching.org is where you find
ORG.
us.
Yes.
Okay. All
Oh,
right.
there he is. He was saying goodbye.
Oh, don't bite that. All right, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday. All right.
Bye.
Have a great one. Hey, it's Coach Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck in your battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And if you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below, and I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the start of something great. We can